Hi everyone, and welcome back. Let's get to it. I'm going to teach you guys a couple tips and skills and some personal perspectives on time management. So let's get going. Time management. Couple personal opinions. Plan ahead, plan ahead, plan ahead. I love the saying, I don't know who said it, but I love the person who did. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Well, I'm the cook in the family, and I was like, huh. And I'm also a math nerd. I was like, how many ounces are in a pound? And it is 16 ounces in a pound. So if you guys plan ahead, it's going to save you possibly 16 times the amount of time and effort. Some other advice on time management: get organized. There are so many things on smartphones that there's planners, there's calendars, and then I'm going to show you guys an app that I absolutely love called WUNDERLIST. And my wife also loves this one because this helps us stay on track and to get things done in a faster time. Now, the overall goal for time management is number one, that you guys get your goals accomplished in a timely manner. But second, why rush to the finish line? Well, the big one is I want you guys to be able to, whether this applies to your work, your personal life, I want you guys to enjoy more just free time and family time or friends time or any extra time in your guys' life that you guys want to have, so that you get the necessary things done. That way you guys can enjoy more of life. Because, hey, listen, you only have so many years on this planet. Let's enjoy as much of them as we can. So let's get things done quickly and move on with life. So let me show you guys how I personally take care of time management and get things done faster. So shout out to whoever created this app. It's called WUNDERLIST. It's on Android. It's also on the iPhone too. You can actually connect to this with Facebook. There is an internet site for this too. They all connect, and that kind of leads me on to, you can create all these different lists. So for example, you could have a list that says, so for example, to-do list, and then you put all the things that you need to do. My wife and I also have one called the Costco list, and we put on things on there. Now the cool part is you can link your list with somebody else's list. So if I'm on there, I'm like, hey, we need bananas, we need milk, we need eggs, and then my wife puts on there, or anybody else can tag in as many people as you want, and she's like, oh, we also need bread, we need steak. We need whatever she wants. Yeah, we don't get steak that often. Whew, prices have gone way up on that. So, anyways, yay, ground turkey. So go ahead, tag that in. Maybe you guys are working on a project at work or a class assignment. Other people can download this, and then you can share this list with other people so that they can add in things, or you can add in things, and then as people are done, you get to check this little box right here, and then it goes into the completed file and goes away. That way, anytime you guys are getting things done as a group project, you can see what other people have done, and they can see what you've done. You can actually click on this and make comments if you can't fit everything in here. You can make comments. You can also put deadlines in there saying, hey, this needs to be done by Tuesday or whenever. The other thing is on my phone, I use the calendar app. Now, some people hate their phone, and that's totally okay. I would recommend going out to Walmart or some store nearby and going and getting a $10 planner, and then writing out everything that they need to have accomplished, when and where. The other thing is I find with the calendar app is definitely set alerts or reminders. I always set my alerts one day ahead and then like 10 minutes ahead. So I've got two alerts on my phone. It's like, you need to go pick up your daughter. I need to go pick up my daughter right now. Or, hey, somebody's birthday, the wife's birthday is coming up next week. Don't forget. So that way it reminds me. That way I don't forget important things. And then it's also got cool little things on there. It's like, hey, reset this for every year, or have this repeat every week. So at our house, Tuesday night, I get a reminder every single night, and it says take out the trash, and I have a repeat every single week. So Tuesday night, it's like take it out, except for when there's holidays, and then it pushes it back a week. I always say when they do that, and then you look like the idiot who has their trash out a day ahead of time, and you're like, oh, I had one more day. Oh well, it's already out there. At least you're not the person that puts it out a day later. I guess that'd be bad. Okay, so real briefly, 6 tips in order to do management and in order. So, number 1, make a list of what you need to accomplish. Write it all down. 2, this might be for me my most important thing. Set a deadline. When does this have to be done by? Some people they like to have their back against the wall and they are good under pressure. Some people like to just get things done as soon as possible. But no matter what, set a deadline. Okay, this is definitely one my wife talks about. There is no such thing as multitasking. Yes, you might be able to rub your stomach and pat your head, but in real life, people don't multitask. They don't do multiple things at once. However, change your language and start doing something called task switching. That way you might work on one task and then all of a sudden you've come to a stop on that and can't do any more, and then you have to switch over to something else. Work on that until you can't anymore and then switch back to something else. I think some psychologists I was reading were saying the human brain can only efficiently juggle 3 to 4 things at a time. That's actually why our phone numbers are broken up into chunks of 3 and a 4. So, for example, your area code might be 509. That's here in Eastern Washington, the state, not DC. We're on the complete other side of the country. And then the next 3, and then the next 4. If you had to memorize a number all 10 digits, trust me, most people would forget. But if you chunk it up into groups of 3 or 4, then you can accomplish it. So don't put too much on your plate, which is kind of a side note. If you feel completely inundated in your life and you're always like, yes, I'll do this, yes, I'll do that, and you're just a yes person, but you're taking on too much, here's a little tip. Here's how to say no. If somebody's like, and you're already busy, and somebody's like, hey, can you do one more thing for me? And your answer is, I would love to, but I've already committed to this, this, and this. But once those are done, then I can help you out. That's the best way to tell somebody no in a positive way. All right. Number 4. If you have responsibilities that you just cannot get to or you can't do yourself, delegate out. Have other people do it. If you can't delegate it out, automate it. So, for example, I guess the best way to explain automation would be every single morning at 5 o'clock, our sprinkler system goes off and it goes on its own. I love technology and more things are becoming automated. It's just happening on its own. So automation means is it's happening on its own, more than likely due to technology. Delegating out would be giving to another person in order to do it. I now have a 4-year-old daughter, and she's finally at the point where she likes to do things. So I'm like, hey, daughter, go throw this away, or hey, go get your shoes, or hey, go do this. Yeah. I love this. Now I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, my parents did the exact same thing. I'm like, hey, I've changed so many of your diapers. You're now going to start helping out around the house. Okay, number 5, use your downtime. If you're under the crunch to get a lot of things, don't take a lot of downtime. Get it done first. My parents, growing up, they would always tell me, do your work first and then play second. And then I realized as an adult that if you didn't work first, and then you didn't play second, you played first, well, then your work will usually suffer. So get things done right away. That way you have free time, your mental health, you are happier. You're like, hey, it's done. I can relax and enjoy life and go play basketball or go do something that you enjoy doing. Then lastly, once you're done, reward yourself. I don't know, maybe a piece of candy, maybe you walk around the block, maybe you like to do sports, maybe you like to read, maybe you're like my wife and like to do yoga. Reward yourself. Once you get even a little tiny something, reward yourself. Maybe that's the most important part is you're like, hey, take time to look back and say, hey, I accomplished something. Might not be big, might not be me, it might be small or something, but definitely take time to reward yourself. All right, remember, you guys can always send me messages or emails if you ever have any questions whatsoever. I love giving personal advice. In my brick and mortar school, my kids know me as the advice guy. And actually, I still have former students message me. They're text me like, hey, Filipini, we've got a question on this, or hey, what do you recommend with this? I've had 10 years of teaching. I probably get questions from former students at least once a week. And it's kind of fun for me because the biggest reward that students can give to me is saying, hey, this is where I'm at in life, or I just got a text the other day, almost put me in tears. And one of my students was like, hey, I'm not going to college, but I really want to be involved in business. And he texted me back and he goes, I somehow got him focusing on a job, and now he has a wife. He's got a beautiful little girl. She's 2 years old. I can't believe he's a parent already. Oh my gosh. And he already told me, he said in about 10 years, they're looking at him for taking over a small payroll company. So I'm super proud of him. So that's the best reward you can ever give to your teacher. So if you've had a teacher invested in you, a long time ago and it's paid off, definitely go back and say thank you. Like, that's the biggest reward you can give a teacher or anybody else. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a wonderful day or wonderful night. Talk to you later.